Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Pearl Daily here on the Audacity Network. I am your host, Pearl, and today we are going to be talking about women proposing to men. Fellas, I hope you can't talk today. I hope you have your dating apps out today. I hope you are swiping because tomorrow is Valentine's Day and there are a lot of lonely women out there with nothing to do. I hear from the guys, it's the second easiest day to get laid in the year. I guess the ladies are lonely at Valentine's Day and at Christmas. So I hope your dating apps are ready. I hope your Pearl, February 14th sucks. I'm lonely but picky. Look it. Guys, somebody's got to smash these whales. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're lonely and it's been a while, I mean, maybe it's harpoon season. Like a lot of guys, they think they're above having sex with an ugly chick. That's what they're there for. They made their choice, right? They could have got on the treadmill. They said, no, I don't want to be on the treadmill. And, if it's been like 6 months, maybe it's time to start harpooning. Maybe it's, and you guys are like, oh, I have these high standards. Look, you can have them for a relationship. But, sex is a need, guys. Download those apps, message lower than you originally thought you would have. It's 2025, baby. Let's get it. Now, speaking of which, I do have plans, so I will not, I won't be here tomorrow. So maybe you guys can hang out together. I don't know. Sorry. Okay. So I want to talk about a couple things. And the first is the Audacity Network. So as you guys know, I went to England and I started a YouTube show. Now, when I went to England, I was playing semi-professional volleyball. And I just stumbled into red pill content. And when I found the red pill, it made everything that I had seen in my lifetime make sense. It made my family dynamics make sense. It made things I'd seen on teams I'd been on make sense. It made... What? Oh, the website's going. Stop saying that in the chat. I see you guys. Apparently there's a loading error on the website. We're working on this, guys. Sometimes things happen. But when I started the show, my goal was to get the correct information out there. And when I realized that basically people had been lying to me my whole life, and there's all this propaganda marketed towards women 24/7. I start this YouTube show talking about some of these issues, and it becomes one of the biggest channels in the US at the time. I got 1 million subscribers in year 1, 1 million subscribers in year 2. I was all over TikTok. It looks like the site is up. And I was all over YouTube, and I ended up getting 1 billion views on this channel. Now, YouTube decided to demonetize me, and at the time they took away my only source of income. So I was not smart. Fresh and Fit had courses. Other people had other avenues. Personally, I put all my eggs in one basket. It just wasn't smart. And every 3 months I would reapply thinking we would get back in because, I don't know. I just thought eventually they'd let us back in. And, they've denied us, I think, 3 times now. It's been a year. Over a year. The last time I applied was October 22nd. It's ridiculous. They still haven't gotten back to us. Now, so what I did was I wanted to create a free speech network. Now, I called it the Audacity Network because I wanted to say it's like we got the audacity to say these things, So I said the audacity, and that's just something I say a lot. I'm like, this bitch has the audacity. So I created the Audacity Network. And the thing is, my goal with this network is, number one, to be YouTube free. Now, I know it's a little hypocritical because this is being streamed onto YouTube, and I do love YouTube, but There are certain topics that I'm not allowed to hit on YouTube, and I want to be able to do that on my platform. The challenge is we have operating expenses. I have a producer, an editor, and it's really helpful to get a yearly membership every single show. So it's $100. Well, if we get $100 membership every show, then we're sponsored for the entire year. Last show, if we get to 10 a show, we might not even have to do ads at some point. Now, what do you get in return? You're thinking, Pearl, why should I? And you know what? I see where you guys are coming from. I mean, how often do you support YouTubers? Who wants to download? We are on both app stores. You're thinking, Pearl, no. I work hard for my money. Totally fair. I want to give you guys things that I want to see in the future that I'd like to create if we get enough support. All of these things are expensive, but I want you guys to understand where I'm attempting to go with this. Now, again, we need to get 3,500 members on the website to just cover this show. So in order to produce this, we'll need a lot of support. But I really want to be funded by the people, for the people, because the challenge is when you get like Daily Wire, right? You see Brett Cooper, Candace Owens, they get fired because they have the wrong opinion on Israel, Gaza, which I'm indifferent. I know nothing about war, but I don't like that. I don't like being beholden to a sponsor. I want to be able to tell everybody to F off if I want to. There's certain topics I won't hit because I don't want to, but I really want it to be as free speech as we possibly can, right? The only way to do that is to get enough members on the website where we're able to tell everybody to F off. Now, things I want to create in the future, maybe not. So I want to make the content that used to be like funny. Like, do you remember in the 90s? And we used to see, number one, I would cast for actually hot women. If I was to make a movie, I want to make non-gynocentric movies again, where they're actually funny. And I would actually, I'm casting for these hoes. I'm not letting any mids be the leads. If we're remaking Transformers, we are getting someone as hot, if not hotter, than Megan Fox. Okay, but I want to be able to make movies at some point, documentaries, even like in-depth journalism. But all this stuff takes money. You have to hire a whole staff, and I'm only one person. Okay. The next thing I want to do is I want to get to a point where I can put all of the useful courses for men on my website. And I want to take morality out of this. I'll give you an example. There's someone I spoke to who has a course on how to run a harem. I'm not saying do it. I'm not saying don't do it. But what they'll do is any guy that sells that, they crucify. I'm not here to crucify anyone. If it's a good course and it gets you guys doing what you want to do, I don't care. I would not write these courses. These would be other people. But I want to be able to recommend the best ones. Other ideas, not just a harem, right? That's one of the more edgy ones, but how to lose weight, tradesman courses, honest feedback about different industries. So, I got a producer here. He's been working in production for 20 years. Maybe he has a little blurb about what you can expect working in video, from people that have been in the industry for a very long time. Or I'm just giving you guys ideas, right? This is down the road. We're trying to get thumbnails on these websites right now. Right now we're trying to, and then I do want to do more panel shows again, but again, all of this stuff is expensive. And we do need monthly or yearly memberships. We are on the App Store. We've put a lot of time into the website. Right now, you get unlimited super chats, but this is some of the stuff we want to do in the future. Now, this leads me to this next phase. So I have one of the best chats on YouTube. Ever since I went viral and we got bigger on YouTube, they said, and then Pearl cast herself in the main role. No, I know where I stand. I'm a mid. I told you guys that. I told you. No, if I make a movie with a hot chick, she's going to make me insecure. I won't want my boyfriend going to see that. I want to feel like I don't even want him to see the movie because the women are so hot. I am tired of this mid casting. I won't do it. I don't stand for this. Mids belong in conservative politics because we couldn't make it in the in acting, all right? This is where we belong. Okay. Now, yesterday there were some disagreements on the chat on my website. And I want to go through the rules I'm making for the chat on the website and why I have these rules. So, as you guys know, I cannot do everything, and I do need chat moderation. And Doug has been my channel moderator for like 3 years now. He's awesome. He knows the stuff in and out. He is my guy. And we together created some rules. Anyone that's been banned in the past, we're allowing you to be unbanned. However, you got to follow the rules, okay? You got to, are you able to actually make a Zoom? Maybe can you send it to Doug if you don't mind? Yeah, because I'm going to have him give his thoughts too. I'm open to you guys' suggestions, but I have my reasons for carrying out this way. Okay. I've had a lot of new members in the last couple of months on the site, and I do think it's necessary to set some rules for the chat. There are not many rules. It's very few. But I do want to have a respectful, productive discussion. Now, I'll give you guys an example. Sometimes I do spaces, and you get people that just spam the chat and derail the entire conversation. So we'll be in a really great space, and someone will come in and just start blaming the Jews for everything. Now, again, if that's your topic, I actually understand where they're coming from. I don't do that here, okay? I'm not here. What I'm here to is to talk about the things that are going on when it comes to dating, culture, and relationships. That's my niche. If it expands in the future, I'll consider that. But when you have every other word is it's the Jews this, it's the Jews that, it's this, it just it's like, I'll be like, okay, let's talk about modern dating. And they're like, it's all the Jews' fault. And I'm like, okay, well, that's really nice. You might be right. I don't know. But do you guys understand what I'm saying? Do you understand? If you guys are derailing the entire conversation, it's just not a productive chat. Okay. The first is, they're saying it is though. Look, is that going to change in my lifetime? I don't know who is, okay? All I know is the YouTube videos that have been produced by other people. Pearl, your topic is constantly expanding. Yeah, look, it could change in the future. I don't know. But I want to have a productive discussion about the topic at hand. And saying, the Jews did this, the Jews did that, it could be true. I don't know. But for me, it just doesn't, it's just not my issue, okay? It's not my topic. The noticing, oh my gosh. I don't, look. Like, for example, we're going to do an STD show. That's practical, right? We're going to do that next week. Anyways, okay. All right, the first rule is no bad faith arguments. And if you want to have a back and forth with another member in the chat, please give them the respect of arguing in good faith without malice. Keep the ad hominem and personal attacks to the minimum. Being contrarian to get a rise out of people, you know what my platform is and what I'm about. If you disagree with the platform, I don't know why you're paying. Do you know what I mean? Like, why are you here? Totally fine if you disagree. You can, it's like all these hit piece channels. If you disagree, it's totally fine. Just keep going. Keep it moving. Incendiary statements. Don't just type outlandish things to get my attention or the attention of people in the chat. Trolling. Don't be a troll. You can pay to troll if you want, but I do give Doug the discretion to moderate and kick people out. So I do trust him. He's been my moderator for 3 years. I gotta, I can't see every single thing. I gotta let him do his job. All right. That's what I was saying. Doug is the only current moderator. We are potentially, this could change in the future, but right now it's just Doug. And he's going to give you 3 warnings before being banned. I don't want to just ban people out of the blue with no warning, but he'll give you a first warning, a second warning. And if you don't listen after that, I don't know what to tell you, Sure, if you're respectful with it, you certainly can allow criticism. But we know the difference. We're adults here, right? We do know the difference. No, people haven't been that bad, but I just want to clarify, okay? Now, the next thing I want to talk to you guys about. When I first got into the red pill, I couldn't believe how bad it was. And I think the world, sometimes it's a little embarrassing, saw me go through my red pill rage phase where I was like, oh shit, I was lied to. This is not what I thought it was. I didn't know it was this bad. And I was almost angry because I would interview these guys that were just victims of divorce rape. And it would just, it would piss me off because, and then you just feel so bad for them, And I used to use a lot of morality statements. I used to say, like, this is bad, this is good. I would say women shouldn't, I can't say that on this platform, or I would say modern women are whores. And, they totally are. Like, that's true. But, next week I'm going to do a show on STDs. And what I did was I put out a tweet on Twitter asking people to give me their genuine, honest experiences with STDs. How did you get them? Who did you get them from? Did you wear a condom? Was it preventable? I'll have him bring it up in a second. And I can't get honest answers out of people if we're constantly like yelling at them in the chat. Now, if someone is being combative and rude, you're totally like, then, gloves are off. If they're being a bitch, I'll be a bitch back. But if I'm saying, you're such a degenerate because you got herpes, they're not going to tell me the information. Does that make sense? Are you guys following? Now, if they're being a bitch, then the gloves are off. But, generally, if people come in and they're talking about their situations and they're not blaming anyone else, they're just saying it. I really would like to keep to a minimum the roast. You can give your opinion on the website, but I'm just not going to read it during these discussions, Like, let's say we get a sex worker on here and we all know she's going to die alone. It's like very obvious. But she's giving us intimate details about what her life is like as a sex worker. I think that is way more entertaining than me yelling at her. Like I could yell at her and say, this is wrong. Or we could have a more interesting conversation. Does that make sense, guys? And I think you guys probably have this realization with women when you're dating, where you got to stop shaming them so you can get the information out. So that's just a little bit of a directional change I want to make. Yeah, we shouldn't immediately shit on someone trying to be genuine. Yeah, if they come on combative, then I don't care. You can roast the hell out of them and I'll read it. But if they're being respectful, I really want to have this channel evolve. Because I really do. I want to make you guys movies with some hot chicks again. I really think I think you guys deserve that. Like women, and it's a little counterintuitive. Why would you trust me? I'm a woman. We've ruined everything else. But the way I see it is women have ruined media. Not all YouTube. And I miss the stuff guys used to make. And if we can put on some like smart, competent people together to put together some good content and give you guys useful resources, I can direct you guys to stuff that's useful without applying morality to it. I would just rather do that in the future. Doug, welcome to the show.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Do you have any other thoughts? We kind of came up with the rules earlier today, so I didn't know if you had anything to add.
So guys, I've been a moderator on Pearl's channel since she had like 30,000 subs, right? Like so when she first started in England. And I do a lot of things for Pearl's show, but I really enjoy the chat and interacting with everybody. I like saying hi to the regulars, and I honestly believe that Pearl's chat
Can you turn it down a little
still
bit? Sorry,
and
it's
still
just a
is
little
the
high.
best chat same people for the past 3 years, and now we put these rules in place because for the last couple of months there have been a lot of signups on the website, and we're consistently getting a good number in the chat, and you're already paying money out of pocket to be a member on the website. We really, 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 really appreciate that. And free speech is good. You can drop f-bombs, stuff like that, but I still want it to have the same kind of energy as a chat on YouTube as on the website. But you should be able to talk unfiltered language wise. You still have to be respectful. Don't come at each other. I've only seen it a couple of times with a couple of people, but I just want the same energy on YouTube, on the Audacity site, but just being able to say whatever language wise. So just keep it respectful, and also the goal is to get more members to the website to create a community there. And a respectful chat is a good way for new members to get immediate benefit from the website. So thank you for adhering to the rules. There aren't a lot of rules, guys. Remember, it's the Audacity Network, so you'll be able to speak freer over there than you would on YouTube. But we've had a couple of scuffles the last couple of days of people trolling and saying. And also remember, Pro does her best to read the comments there while she's running the show. So the more succinct comments, so these like incendiary comments where you're trying to get her attention or troll, it kind of hurts the quality of the show.
Yeah.
So,
and Doug is he's even given you guys 2 warnings. So if you do it after 2 warnings, like I can't, like he's going to give you 2 warnings. Okay. And right now we're going to start with a clean slate, but you get 2 warnings. If it doesn't, then you're just out of luck. I don't know what to tell you guys. Find a different place to go. Anything?
Once again,
go ahead.
Thank you to all the regulars on the YouTube chat. I see you guys already. And then all you guys on the Audacity Network, once again, thank you guys on the Audacity Network for digging into your wallets and supporting the channel. Pearl and I both really, really appreciate it. Thank you. And go to the website and sign up, because this is going to be the year where we're going to make that website something special, okay?
Yeah. Thank you, Doug.
All right, have a good one.
You too. Okay, so, all right, that's my update on the website. Oh, the other idea I had, and I kind of like to spitball these with you guys because, I mean, what I create is going to be the most useful and wanted by the audience. Like, I'm not going to make something and put time into developing something if you guys don't need it or want it. Outside of the show, I'll be here regardless. You can't get rid of me, YouTube. They've taken away 8 TikToks, 4 Instagrams, and demonetized me on YouTube. I'm still here. This show will go on forever. Wait, I want to play. Wait. What's the Sandlot? Yeah, this is me. Wait, the Sandlot, is this it? Yeah. This is me on YouTube. Hold on. Is this it? I haven't seen this in forever.
Kill everyone! And he did. And he liked it. A lot. The Beast was the most perfect junkyard dog that ever lived. A true killing machine. But after a while, the cops started getting phone calls from people reporting all the missing thieves. The ones the Beast had killed. It added up to about 173 guys. It's true. They never found a single body. Not one. Some people say they all got away. But we all know what really happened. The Beast ate them. He ate them bone and all. The Beast was too good at his guard dog job. So the police said he had to be retired.
I haven't seen this. Is he gonna say
My
forever?
grandpa, Squigman Palladors,
Oh, it's at the
was
end.
police chief back then. When he ordered Mr. Myrtle to turn his backyard into a fortress and chain up the Beast and put him under the house where he could never get out to eat children and stuff. And that's where he's been for 20 years. And that's where he'll be for the rest of his life. Because when Mr. Myrtle asked the cops how long he had to keep the Beast chained up like a slave, they said until forever. Forever.
That's me.
Forever. Forever.
Yeah. So, then some other service ideas I had. Do you guys want to get married? Are you thinking get married? Maybe I could put together a consulting for prenups, Obviously, I wouldn't do it, but I'd go get, a good lawyer to partner with that's been verified by people I know. Or maybe you want to make sure your girl isn't a hoe. Maybe Private Eye Russ comes on here and we do a course on how you can be a personal PI, or you can hire us to do it. I also thought about developing a finishing school at some point. Not me, I wouldn't run it, but I've thought about, if she wanted to. There's someone I have in mind. I'm not going to say it because I'd have to get the support. But imagine your bitch can't cook. You want to know, is she coachable? Send her to my finishing school. And she'll come out with basic whatever, or self-improvement. And then, boom, matchmaking. These are the things I thought of. Now, these are things, I want to make useful tools for you guys. People that are not I'm not doing the Daily Wire model where I sell you dreams. I'm not doing this model where I tell you as a grown man what to do. I'm doing the model where we say, what do you want to do? And let's see if we can assist you with the best tools that we have. Okay, but that's really all I got outside of the topic today. Okay, so happy Valentine's Day, everybody. There's a lot of lonely ladies this time of the year. Now, as the cost of relationships has gotten higher and higher and higher, as you guys know, the modern dating life cycle goes something like this. You hook up first 3 dates, then you date casually for up to 2 years, then you date seriously for up to 3 to even a decade these days. Then you drag him down the aisle. You say, please, baby, please, I love you. And then he reluctantly does it and says, okay, she's been here for this long. Fine, I'll do it. But that's been getting more and more difficult nowadays. The men, they've seen their grandpa get wrecked in family court. They've seen their dad get wrecked in family court. And they still thought that we would be different. They thought the ladies, I found this one, she's special, she's different, she's amazing, she's beautiful, and she wrecked me too. And their kids are done. Their kids and the women that want to be married for the second time, done, cooked, over with. Yeah, and we say, please marry us. And we're to the point, guys, that women are getting on our knees. I never thought I would see the day. Women are proposing to men. Now, you've seen it the last 10, 20, 30, 50 years. Women want to do everything a man can do. And now we see women lifting weights. We see women with tattoos like men. We see women that dress like men. We see women in the workforce like men. They get the same pay. We have the same attitudes. Some even think they're as strong as men, which is why you see so many women trying to fight men. And equal rights, equal lefts, baby. They're getting hit. You see us in more positions of power. And there are still things that some women are not willing to do. And one of those things is proposing to a man. There are women who are CEOs of major companies, criminal defense attorneys, law enforcement, women that would be perceived as assertive, strong, and powerful, but will not get on one knee to propose to a man. And why do women refuse to do this? There's a multitude of factors. Shame. Modern women know that most men and women will question why the woman proposed to a man. Women have constant questions and doubts from their close friends and family about marriage and how long it will last if the woman proposes. Doubt. The woman may not see the marriage as real if she proposes. She may wonder why she had to propose instead of her husband. This could lead to her constantly requiring the husband to validate her feelings about his commitment. Masculine perception. Proposing to a person who put is a masculine thing to do. Do you know what? Okay, let me just, for a second. I think proposing is for simps, okay? Now, posing, hear me out, okay? Oh my gosh, I spelled it wrong. Proposing to a woman. I really do think proposing is for simps. And as most of you know, I've been on the front lines of the simp epidemic for years. But I got to tell you guys about a quiet weapon being ratcheted up against men. It's rarely talked about. It's not just the relentless anti-masculinity propaganda and OnlyFans hoes causing the societal destruction that we see on this show. Did you know that average city's tap water contains trace pharmaceuticals and endocrine disruptors? This often includes estrogen from birth control, and the average adult consumes a credit card worth of plastic every single week. That's 5 grams of plastic a week on average, so it's no wonder that the average male's testosterone is half of what it was 50 years ago. Testosterone levels decline 1% a year, and without a course correction, we are headed towards extinction. No matter how based you are, you need to be naturally boosting your testosterone. My friends at Chalk, CHOQ.com, are on a mission to save mankind from extinction by boosting your vitality. Chalk's male vitality stack contains premium and potent herbs clinically studied to naturally boost your testosterone levels, sperm count, and overall vitality. Just one of the many ingredients in the male vitality stack was studied in double-blind human clinical trials to boost total testosterone 20% in 90 days. When you boost your testosterone, you'll have more mental clarity. You're more capable of making decisions and taking risks. Having high testosterone will also affect your pheromones, so women will find you more attractive subconsciously. Get the Chalk Male Vitality Stack right now on chalk.com. That's CHOQ.com. Use my name, Pearl, as your coupon code, and you'll get 25% off site-wide on chalk.com. That's CHOQ.com. My name, Pearl, is the discount code. Okay, so, can we just talk about this? How does this, Doug, I think Doug put in this, that this is the masculine thing to do. How is bowing to a woman the masculine thing to do? Really? Doug, you need to call back in. No. Do you know what I'm, you're bowing to a woman and we're saying, to be honest, his reaction makes this look feminine. I'm going to switch it around. Woman proposing, but it's more because he looks kind of gay in this to a man. Now, if the guy didn't, yeah, here we go. I don't know. I think her kneeling to him, I prefer it. I really do. I mean, it's just, it's kind of like, get on your knees, bitch. You've ruined marriage, ladies. You've ruined it. It's like the women, we are the ones who've ruined marriage. We've ruined it. So it's like, doesn't it kind of make sense to get us to beg? We're the ones that put these terrible laws in place. Isn't it kind of like crushing our ego a little? Do you want a woman with a big ego? I promise to God, she's got no ego if she's getting on her knees. It's gone. I heard a dog. Okay, it's kind of, I don't know what that dog's doing. Okay, but we'll bring Doug up at the end. He can respond to this. We will bring him back, but I want to get through this. Does it matter if a man or a woman proposes? Over 20 years ago, I covered my face with my hands and told my now husband, I'm moving away for graduation school and I'd love you to go with me, but I want us to be married first. After he agreed and it seemed like a great idea, we shopped for an engagement ring before he chose one of the two I liked the best. He offered it to me with from one knee a couple of months later in a surprise engagement. As a wife, I tell others he proposed, but a social scientist who studies marriages and engagements, I'm not so sure. Young heterosexual adults increasingly prefer egalitarian relationships in which both partners work for pay and contribute equally to childcare and domestic labor, even as they struggle to realize this balance. Equalizing the proposal, a single moment in time rather than an ever-changing lifetime negotiation of labor, should be much easier. Still, the proposal process remains overwhelmingly a male responsibility and privilege. It's like, okay, we're trying to sell that it's a privilege that men get to propose. Like, you're so lucky that you get to be enslaved to me for a lifetime? Like, isn't the privilege... who should be begging who for the marriage? Who puts out more work in the marriage? Okay. This stubbornness of this seems seemingly less acceptable bastion of male control, and it has a lot to tell us about gender relationships and the division of labor in 21st century America. Sharon Sassler, a sociology professor at Cornell, and I interviewed a number of cohabitating couples between 18 and 34 who were considering or in the process of discussing marriage with partners. We explicitly asked them which partner should propose. We received a fair number of responses along the lines of whoever wants to, especially from college-educated men and women. But when we changed the question to who do you want to propose if the two of you get married, the overwhelming response was the male partner. And this remained true among those who otherwise viewed their relationship as equal. When we asked why, men and women alike expressed concerns that flopping the question would call into question long-established gender roles. It's just a manly job, explained T, a male responded. It's just natural. N was another man who felt the same way. He had just proposed and was committed to sharing the housework and financial responsibilities equally with the female partner, although had been the one to initiate their move-in. He said one of the wedding proposals, I think it's the guy's job not to be chauvinistic and old-fashioned, but I think I would have felt like a putz had she proposed to me. I don't understand how you guys don't feel like a putz already. I mean, can we just look at this? Like, I'm so sorry to burst your bubble. Okay, wait, let me go back. I'm not saying either is great, but like, you're telling me this? Like, kneeling, people used to kneel to kings. And that's how, because they used to view the world as there being a natural order. And it used to go God, men, stronger men, weaker men, women, children. And, knights would kneel to kings as a sign of submission. And we're saying it's masculine for men to kneel to women. I don't know. Maybe I'm too... I'm not saying the woman, the only thing masculine maybe is it's his idea, hypothetically, but can we be honest? I mean, come on. Whose idea is it usually? Can we be honest here? I mean, it's one thing if the guy says, hey, we're getting married, but you're asking her permission to be married. Aren't you guys men? Tell her what you're doing. That's how I would see it. We're getting married. Are you coming? No? Okay. Next, bitch. You can get a bitch button. Wouldn't that be amazing? If every time your girl didn't listen to you, you could just press a button and a new woman would arrive. You're like, can you make dinner? And she's like, no. And you're like, no problem. You're like, is your sister available? I'm too much. Okay. Oh wait, where was I in this? Oh, here we go. We were both wanting to propose, but scared to. She made a Skyrim quest where I could find items in the scavenger hunt. A pair of boots, a helmet, and a golden ring. The boots had a note with them for all the times you carried me and didn't give up on me. For all the times you kept me in your heart and all the love you've given me. For all the times you thought of me and hoped for me. All the times you've helped me, and the ring. For all the times I have with you in the future. Will you marry me? I said yes. I melted. It was the happiest moment of my life, but it didn't occur to me when the conventional norm was supposed to be. I didn't feel emasculated or anything. I just felt loved. I did at one point think, fuck, getting proposed to is the best feeling in the world. Fuck me. I can't do this for her now. Fuck. How do I make her feel loved as she is making me feel in this moment? This is so hard. Okay, so this is, I'm not going to read any more of this. According to a recent survey of 500 men, 70% said they wouldn't mind if the woman proposed. I call cap on this. And I question the type of men that these people surveyed. I don't understand how you guys are. This is masculine. Really? Really, bowing to a woman is masculine. Okay. All right. Would you mind? Let's put it in the chat. Would you mind if a woman proposed to you? All right. 7 best girl wedding proposals we're going to watch. All right. Now we can rank if the guys look masculine. Can we play this sound? Like, do you know how much of an ego she has to swallow to get on one knee in front of all her friends and family? I mean, she has to swallow her. I'm for it. I really am.
I would choose you in 100 lifetimes, in 100 worlds, in any version of reality. I would find you and I would choose you. Mr. Riju Vashisht, will you marry me?
I don't know. Like, it's... I don't know. I mean, she's in a dress. She doesn't really look that masculine. Okay, guys, let me know. Is this a little hot to you? Like... If you had a girl, I don't know, let me know. I mean, she's doing it kind of in a feminine way. You know, like kneeling is a sign of submission. You know what? I did a dating show once on the show when I was in England, and I had a producer named King, and he was like we decided to set him up with some bitches. You know, we're like, it was like the main guy didn't show up. So we're like, hey, you guys down for King? And you know, the woman who won the dating show brought him, because it was like he had to rate their food. And she brought out the food on her knees. And she said, like, she like was kneeling and giving it to him. They're saying women proposing is a race to the bottom. I disagree. I think it's better. He said, Fazell said, I'll open my fly too if she's serious. I mean, in a way, that's the ultimate sign of submission. You know what I mean?
It's my birthday. Guess where we are?
Happiest place on earth.
On the happiest day in the year. Happiest day on the year.
So you're telling me you'd say no? She's pretty hot, wouldn't you guys say? Like 7, 6, 7. I'd put her in. Am I rating too high? No, 6. Strong 6 though.
I would create a game based on one of our favorites, Monopoly Deal. I worked with a couple of illustrators.
Okay, move this. Let's keep going.
4 in my bank. This one. Pasco.
And this one.
Okay, this guy looks a little feminine. The last two I didn't really think looked like, I didn't think they looked super feminine.
Actually, I don't want to play this game anymore. Can we play this version instead?
Seal the deal. Let's play.
Where's the next card? Was that there this whole time?
Community chest.
Do you mean this community chest? Will you marry me?
Yeah. Yes.
I'm going to die on this hill. This is a step up from what we have. This is a step up.
Before we move on to some of the best proposals yet, don't forget to go watch all my videos on
Doug in the chat, which I do read the chats on the website. So if you guys want to put a comment, try to put Pearl read on your chats you want me to read. Because you guys go back and forth with each other, so I need it to be clear. Doug says men hold the key to marriage, and you want the woman to propose. Yeah, she's asking for the key. She's like, please give me the key. Please. And then he says yes or no. Like, you want the man to beg the woman for marriage? You can get on his knees and beg. This is why we have a culture of simps. I mean, you used to kneel to kings. Now we kneel to women.
how to save money and not get ripped off.
Pearl, you're kidding me. This is my take. I don't really like public proposals. It's kind of like a spectacle. But I mean, okay, put it this way. The relationships you've been in, has it been better when the woman's been begging you to be in a relationship and you're like, keep it casual? And she's like, please date me, please, please, please. And you're like, fine, bitch, fine, I'll do it. Or has it been better when you've been begging her to be in a relationship and you're like, please, please, please date me? That's what I see here.
Buying diamonds.
Okay, I'm not buying any of these rings. Okay, let me keep going.
Proposal, my dream proposal to
They want me to make a new poll.
You know how indecisive I am and have trouble in picking my favorite anything. But without a doubt, you are my favorite everything. And I can't be sure of anything more than you. You are the source of my joy, the center of my...
How many of you have gotten that from your wives? Who's written you a love note like that? And you guys are telling me that these are simps because their wife proposed. How many of your wives have done that much for you?
My world and the whole of my heart.
She said, you're the whole of my heart. Now, to be fair, this is kind of performative. We don't know the intentions when social media is involved. You will not convince me that they're simps. You just will not.
And all I want to
now, if the men reacted and were like, oh my God, like women, then it's like, okay. But the guys are kind of like, okay, let's do it, you know?
Tell you is that you can turn back. All I want to tell you is that will you marry me?
Daniel, only real men kneel. I don't know. None of these women are in pants. They're all in pretty dresses. You know, only girlfriends give notes and letters. I would say that a private proposal was intimate, but the other ones are emasculating, I think. Yeah, because of the public. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. But if this wasn't so performative, and okay, imagine this. Let's redo this a little bit. Now, obviously, when women are posting stuff on social media, we don't know their intentions. But if you come home and your wife is on her knees and saying, look, you are the love of my life. I am so sure I want to be with you forever, and gives you this long speech where she's really putting her heart out there. And a blowjob. You're gonna tell me what you guys begging and saying, please marry me is better. You're not gonna convince me. The whole male privilege thing, not just the proposal, prerogative privilege in large, is straight up gaslighting. If the woman is serious, her family should provide a large dowry. Yeah, why not?
Whoosh. And that's how I executed my dream proposal.
Follow up? You have to hold him in his hand. He's coming. Sheep?
Women who beg for love often don't cheat, in my experience. Doesn't mean they didn't hoe at some point, but they don't cheat.
No way! You just got this. No. What? Let's go now. Will you marry me? He picked the yes one. Oh my God!
These guys don't look simpy to me. Maybe one, the guy like crossing his legs on the couch, but you're not.
They're getting married.
I told Evan, I kind of joked about it, that whenever he would propose to me, shortly after I would propose to him. And I think he liked the idea. It was more like joking, but also kind of serious. So I thought today I could incorporate that in the photo shoot.
Okay, you're telling me this guy's a simp. I mean, all these women are attractive. Like, you guys, there's this idea these are just going to be ugly feminists. Are there any of these women that you wouldn't? I mean, all of them, I think, are woods. Pearl, if she proposed, I would say, let's go out and celebrate and close the door behind her, smile and say, where the hell is a button for a new woman? I think you're brainwashed. I think all these people have convinced you guys that, you know, you should kneel to women. And they've convinced you that it makes sense. For a couple years, my girlfriend would beg me in bed to ask her to marry her. Finally, on Christmas Eve at her place, I tossed her a small box and said, this is your Christmas present. Are you guys still together? How did it turn out?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you presenting the ring to me?
He does not like this. He is not for it. But it's because it's a performance, in my opinion.
As he's
Will you marry me?
Yes. Yes, I will marry you. Oh. Yes.
Make sure you click on the.
Yeah, I mean, this guy looks simpy. Okay, where are we going next? All right, 11 men, talk about how they felt after their girlfriends proposed to them. All right, 1, we were just talking on the phone. We'd been dating for about 4 years. She knew I was anti-marriage. I received a picture and she had drawn on a colored sign that said, will you marry me in 15 years? Of course I said yes, and we married 2 years later. I'm so glad she asked because she would have been the one that got away. She just popped the question randomly without much of a ceremony. I thought it was flattering and sweet. I strongly appreciated her will to take initiative. I said no. As painful as it was to say it, marriage isn't something I really want. Definitely not in the near future. It was more of a lifestyle incompatibility than anything else, I guess. I enjoyed the gesture. I felt pretty good because I said yes. I feel even better now because 20 years or so, I get to say, hey, this was your idea. That's funny. It was humbling. She had a learning disability and then read out loud her proposal. She was terrified of blowing it, and it was the most important moment of her life. I was blown away because after being with her for 7 years, I didn't know how important it was to her. I'm still humbled. I was ecstatic to be engaged to her. I was planning to ask her in 6 months' time, so it worked out. She did it on my golden birthday at a music festival. Needless to say, I was quite inebriated. Right before, she did it on a beach and asked me, so how are you feeling? I replied, fucked up. Then I got on one knee and I started crying. It's 2 years later and we're still doing the same shenanigans without the proposing and the crying. I feel a complete indifference, and she was the one to do it. People almost always shocked when they hear it. But honestly, honestly, with my semi-apparent commitment issues, I may have done it. Oh my gosh, I can't read. I may have never done it, so it's better that she did. Just awesome. I mean, the men are loving it. Brian talked about this on whatever, because the women were like, what, do you want a woman to take you out? And he's like, yes. That would be really nice. Just awesome. The most curious thing I did was when I told other people we were engaged, about 80% of them asked, how did you propose? I had to explain I didn't. Okay, now we're going to talk about why women questions why the hell women would propose to a man.
All right, y'all. I don't know why this is being normalized.
She's less attractive than the other women.
Or it's becoming like a thing or a trend, but there is not a single day of any week, of any month, of any year that I am ever going to get down on one knee and propose to a man. I would rather sweep the streets of I-4, and if you live in Florida, then you know what the hell I'm talking about, because like, why is this a thing? Like, I just seen another video of a girl proposing to her man, and I'm like, girl, what are we doing? Women, what are we doing? Like, all right, y'all, I don't know why this is being normalized.
Okay, next. Simping for a woman proposing to a man. I don't know. Come on, guys. You cannot convince me. I got to turn the sound off. You cannot convince me that this is better. You guys want... Okay, because you have to think about it. If you're asking, if you're saying, will you marry me? You're begging them. So wouldn't it make more sense for the women to beg you guys? Who's the prize here? Is the woman the prize or the man the prize? I mean, who's more annoying to put up with for a lifetime? Can we just be honest here? Oh, wait, here. Okay.
Or it's becoming like a thing or a trend, but there is not a single day of any week, of any month, of any year that I am ever going to get down on one knee and propose to a man. I would rather sweep the streets of I-4, and if you live in Florida, then you know what the hell I'm talking about, because like, why is this a thing? Like, I just seen another video of a girl proposing to her man, and I'm like, girl, what are we doing? Women, what are we doing? Like, all right, y'all, I don't know why.
Look, all right, so the Daily Gripe says, Pearl, read. Brian from Whatever is very feminine. He jokes a lot of stuff for that effect, but he's still serious about it, even if joking at the same time. Very beta dude. Yeah, and this is masculine, really? You guys realize they literally replaced women, or like kings, with women. You know, the kings got kneeled to, and the women were like, I want to do that. Proposals is something that happened in the last like 150 years. This isn't something that happened throughout all of history. This is it used to be arranged where the dad would pay the man to take his daughter. He's like, look, this bitch is annoying. I mean, I like her. She's a good girl, but like, freaking I got better things to do than worry about her. And the guy came around and he's like, I'll take her. And he's like, thank you, God. Here's 10 grand. Have a good life. You know, thank you. Thank God. What would happen if a woman proposes and the man says no? She'll never recover. We're not meant to take ego hits like that. Women can't get behind another. Okay, here. This is. Okay, again, who's hotter, the woman proposing or the women crying about it?
This proposal, and I thought it was so cute. And then I realized that it was a woman proposing to her man. If there's something that I just can't ever get behind, it's women proposing to men. And anytime I see a video like this, I always respond because it makes me really sad. It makes me sad because it makes me believe these women will not get to experience feeling special. Because here's the thing. I find it hard to believe that these women that propose to men don't ever bring up marriage in their relationship. I find it hard to believe that they don't tell their partners, I want to get married, marriage is important to me. And I find it hard to believe that they just wake up one day and say, wow, I really love this man. I'm going to do a surprise proposal for him. What I think happens is these women talk about marriage to their partners. They're not being heard, their partner's not really doing anything, and then they decide to take matters into their own hands. Because to have to change...
Crazy Kyle says, I think Pearl hunts every simp to kill themselves. What? Okay, yes, Pearl, the dad paid the guy. Amen. We are taking a problem off of his hands. Doug, you don't have to censor yourself on here. You can type fuck, no problem. Okay.
Change the dynamic of something that is
Fazell says the downside of the internet. Every moron with a phone got an idea to share. While most of these bitches need to be institutionalized.
A man asking for your hand is kind of a red flag to me.
I mean, how does it work out? Women feeling special in a relationship. Do we tend to value and cherish that?
And I see comments about, oh, but women want equality, or wow, well, the men should be spoiled too. First of all, yes, women want equality in basic human rights and equal pay. And absolutely spoil your man. That doesn't mean you have to be the one asking him to marry you. I mean, of course, we don't know everybody's situation, but this is a reminder to women out there that if you are telling your partner that something is important to you, a man that truly loves you will listen and will put in the effort.
Blah, blah. All right, Doug, explain yourself.
Okay. Bro, I can't even believe that.
I want to hear. How is kneeling? No. I need you to explain this. How is kneeling to a woman masculine? Kneeling to a woman.
I can't believe that we're on opposite ends of this.
No, it's totally fine. Yeah. How is begging a woman to marry you masculine?
Okay. Let's start from the beginning. Should men be leaders? Yes or no?
Sorry, I'm stretching. No, I need you to explain the woman. Don't. I
I'll
need
get
you to.
there.
I
I'll
need
get
you
there.
to
I'll get there.
answer. How
get
is
there.
how is kneeling to a woman masculine?
Should men be leaders? Yes or no?
How is kneeling to a woman masculine?
Should men be leaders? Yes or no?
How is
Because here's the
kneeling
thing.
to a woman?
Okay. The only reason why men kneel is because it's tradition, right? It's traditional. Remember traditional, Pearl? We want things to go back to the traditional ways.
No,
right?
no, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's not traditional.
Yes,
traditional.
It is.
No. Men used to kneel to kings.
Yeah,
they used to kneel to kings, and women convinced you guys. Women convinced you guys to kneel to women. They said
that men. I don't even think that men should be getting married. Number one, so that's what I'm starting at. But here's the thing: the reason why men do it is because it's how it's been done for as long as I can remember, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is let's get back to the proposal thing. Men are supposed to be leaders. I think that you should set the tone when you're dating and talking to a woman. A woman should be on your schedule at all times. And if she proposes, first off, men only have power in two ways. The power to walk away and the power to determine who their girlfriend, fiance, and wife is. That's the only power you have, guys. Don't give any of it away.
Yeah, but she's giving him the power. She's asking him the question. She's saying, will you? She's asking, and he gets to say yes or no instead of him asking her and putting it on her terms. Saying, will you marry me to a woman? It puts it on her terms. Go ahead.
Have you met a guy that's been proposed to by his wife? I have. I'm from Washington State. I have a couple of friends who simped out, and their wife proposed to them, and they took
I think
their
you guys are.
wife's
I think
last
you
name.
guys are simping by begging the women. Okay, well, he shouldn't have taken her last name. That's a simp behavior.
That's where that came. I'm telling you. You know,
all of these women were hot that we just reacted to.
Come on,
they were all fives or higher.
Guys, in the chat, how would you feel if your girl got all your friends and family
No. You heard what I said about this, Doug. You heard what I said about this. No.
And made you look like a punk.
You heard what I said about this. I said, if you take away the spectacle, if it was a private thing between the two, it would not be the same. The reason it looks emasculating is because the woman made it a spectacle, not because she asked. Go ahead.
Women love attention so much.
Yeah.
Do you think any woman would ever propose to a man in private? Come on, what's the likelihood that's going to happen?
I think it happens all the time. I think women, oh, hell yeah. I could think of 3 couples off the top of my head where they had been dragging this man down the aisle. I mean, women don't do it. I mean, we tend to do it in a nagging way, but if we're going to nag, we might as well get on our knees and beg with a nice note or something. Even I'm saying right now they're doing it behind closed doors, begging, nagging to marry them. We see that's every other marriage is drugged down the aisle.
Pearl, you know how unrealistic and how high women's demands get on their husbands after they get married. Do you think that gets better or worse if she proposes to the man and he says yes? It would make it exponentially worse.
No, to be honest, I think if a woman is to the point that she is begging the man to get married, I think the relationship's on his terms. Because you got to be pretty desperate to get to that point. I think he's got more say than she does. Go ahead. If she's making it a spectacle, that's different. But go ahead.
I would argue that she's tired of being girlfriend or not having a real commitment. All of her friends are in her ear saying, "When you get married?" And she could be addicted to wanting that wedding day and hasn't thought about the actual marriage. Because remember, women want the marriage, but they don't want to be a wife.
Totally. But you can solve for that problem. You can just say, hey, no wedding, courthouse. Are you down? Problem solved, Doug.
But if she proposed, that would give her the keys to decide. Would the man decide?
No,
The
because it's on his terms. He could say yes, but I want this, this, and this. The woman, okay, let's say it this way. I still need you to answer the question. What is masculine about kneeling to a woman?
It's been tradition, and traditional ways are more masculine.
Okay, you really think this is masculine? Again, so we know the history of it. They used to kneel to kings, and women subverted that and said, kneel to me instead of a king. It used to be romantic love. Romantic love is a generally new concept. This didn't really exist before 150 years ago. Dating didn't exist. It was an arranged marriage, and it was more the other way around because the father would give money to the son to take the daughter off of his hands. The son didn't have to put money into an engagement ring. This didn't really exist. It was an arranged marriage. So if we're going to go to tradition, it's arranged marriage. I mean, dating started in like the 20s because women started moving out of their parents' house and getting an apartment. That's like when this all began. The birth rate starts falling. Sexual revolution's the 60s. So if you're going to say tradition, you go back to arranged marriages. I'm saying I think this is more feminist than a woman kneeling to a guy because kneeling is an act of submission. They used to do it to kings. So if your argument is traditional, then what tradition are you talking about? Go ahead.
Once again, I don't even think that men should get married. I'm coming from a viewpoint. I'm gonna put it like this: if I had a friend, right, and he would say, hey, let's meet up. You know, for something special gonna happen. If I had a friend that was a girl and she would gather her friends and family and kneel down and propose to her boyfriend, he would look like a total punk, and she's probably gonna peg him later on that night.
I don't think these guys looked like punks. I was watching it, and I honestly think that the guys that gather all the woman's friends around and do this big spectacle for the woman, I think they look like bigger punks. I don't like either, right? Because it's a show for social media. Like, let's just be honest. It's a show. It should be a private thing. But like, if I had to pick one, I really would pick the woman proposing to the man. Go ahead.
So, okay. So, let's separate these two things. There's kneeling. Is it the kneeling part or the proposing part?
Both.
Because I don't think you should do either one. Like, don't get married at all. But if I were to be with a woman and she would try to kneel down and marry me, first off, I'm not getting married again. So that would be the end of it right there. Run away.
No,
I'm not going to look like a punk in front of everybody. You just can't convince me that if you're sitting there out in public and some woman gets down in front of the man, you assume that he's just going to get punked out the rest of his life. He says yes. That marriage isn't going to be on your terms. He's probably going to take her last name. I'm sorry, I just can't do it. Once again, I don't think that you should get married at all. But I think that a man should be able to decide who his girlfriend, fiance, and wife is. Besides the power to leave,
how does he not get
power you have left?
How does he not get to decide? Because again, if he proposes to her, then she decides. She says yes or no. So he says, "Will you please?" He doesn't say please, but like that's how it comes across. "Will you please marry me? I'm getting on my knee." And then she says yes or no. She's the one that gets to decide if he's embarrassed or not embarrassed. When she's the one proposing, she takes up all the risk when the man has to take all the risk after. So to me, I don't really like the spectacle, but I don't really see anything wrong with a woman. Like, then he gets to decide because he says yes or no. Go ahead.
If a woman proposes to you and you say yes, you are literally handing that woman your balls.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think make her beg. Make her get on her knees.
I can see your viewpoint, But me personally, I think that any guy that accepts a woman's proposal, you were in for a long, long life, a long, hard life, and you're gonna get divorced because once again, she probably only wants the wedding. And she's gonna freaking try to peg you later on and tell you what to do. It just run. I think that men should be. I think that men should lead. Men should make the decisions. A woman should be on your time. You should. That's just what I believe. Sorry, and like a woman proposing to a man, there are too many women, especially between the ages of 33 and 37, who just want to be married. And you want to take that, man. Sorry.
I would maybe accept if he said he told her that they were going to get married, like we are getting married. But I don't really like if she's on his program, why are you even asking? Like, why is this need? Like, just tell her you're getting married.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like that.
Look,
that would
if you
be.
Want to take out the kneeling part. That's perfectly fine.
And the asking the question. It's like, who's asking? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I can see the whole kneeling part. I don't think that you should propose at all, and I can see your viewpoint with the kneeling thing. Maybe neither side should kneel, but just don't get married at all. But yeah, we're gonna have to agree to disagree. I think that if you're in public once again and a woman gets down on her knee and proposes, it just makes you look. Society hasn't gotten that far yet. It just hasn't, especially in the circles I run in. Like I would be, and once again, I know guys who have been proposed to and married their wives, and they took their wives' last names, and they're total punks.
Yeah, I mean, taking your wife's last name is an L, but. All right, Doug, we're gonna put the Zoom in the chat, so guys, you can give your thoughts too, and I'm gonna read on the website. If you guys want, feel free to join the website. We're on both apps. It's the Audacity Network, like the Audacity in the network. It's definitely gonna be a hyphenated last name if she proposes to him. It's going to be hell either way. Just don't get married. Daniel says, women proposing, it just takes my man card and rips it to shreds. You're both right somehow. The key is just don't get married. Fazelle, I'd bet my left nut that you'd change your mind once you have your own harem. Fazelle, how's your harem going? Because I remember you were in my chat a couple times ago talking about the 2 a.m. whale. Have you upgraded? Have you got 5s? 7, 6s? How's it? Who's in it? Let me know. It says a judgment-free zone. It's traditional for women to go to college in a big city and get ran through, so it's masculine, and we should support it since it's been happening for decades. Doug. They're coming for you, Doug. Daniel, it's not masculine, and it shows true love and honors the moment. Steve. Pearl Reed. Large dowry, no prenup, and her family pays 100% of the wedding and provides a nice house. The Daily Gripe, the proposal should literally just be a formality of when he decides to get married. Never propose if you are 100% sure she's going to say yes. Pearl Reed, if a woman gets on her knees, it better be followed by putting her hair in a ponytail and a BJ to follow. Look, she could sweeten the deal. Do you know what I mean? I'm just saying, I don't really have a problem with this. Doug, if the dowry is long enough, I would just be laughing to the bank. No prenup. Trump married 3 of them. If a woman gets on her knees to ask me, I would feel emasculated. Kneeling to a woman is not leadership. Proposing to a woman is extremely gay. Remember how Trump decided to marry Melania? Did he kneel? No. I actually don't know how they proposed. Doug, we are the prize, protector, and provider. Damn right she can kneel and propose, plus a dowry. A man should never ask a woman to marry her if he's unsure of what her answer will be. I just don't, if you know what her answer is, then just tell her what you're doing. Like, you either have a woman that listens or she doesn't listen. I don't know what you got, but if you say, hey, we're getting married. So Donovan did, his wife was working out and he just went up to her and he was like, we're getting married. And that was it. That was so funny. He just said, yeah, we're getting married. Actually, I'm going to see if he wants to call in on this. Let me see. Let me message him. Donovan. Do you want to call in? We're talking about women kneeling to men. And I want to get your take. If you're free, the link is in the chat on YouTube. Okay, let me see the new ones. You can't just say, hey, we're getting married. Why? Don't get married. Be a great man that the woman is willing to not be married to keep you. But Donovan married a single. Oh my gosh, for the millionth time, guys, she's not a single mother. I've met her niece. It's actually like, I know the story and I've actually met the people, but I don't know. It's like once they say I dated a homeless guy, and that's not true. But these people are evil. You know, I dated a guy years ago, and he was like staying in like very nice hotels at the time, like Trump Tower, but he didn't have an actual place. And I said that, and for years they've said she dated a homeless, like they made it seem like I got him off the side of the road. Anyways, now I don't care. This was years ago. But the problem is, I'm telling you on the internet, they just repeat things until people believe it. And it's the same thing with that. She doesn't have kids. I know she doesn't have kids. So like I've actually met them. I've been to their house. Fazelle, if it was a one-time thing, okay? I blame the alcohol. It's all right, Fazelle. It happens to the best of you. You can have Will come in. And we're keeping you guys off the chat today. Oh, we have a new, I'm going to read first the show sponsors today. Thank you guys so much. Jose got a yearly membership. Karen got a monthly membership. Thank you, Karen. You know, I've heard you guys are lame, but you seem pretty cool to me. I didn't mean to insult you. Just, you know, the Karen archetype. Tough time to be named that. Bill, thank you for the yearly membership. And, there was a new one this morning from Ryan. Let me keep going back. Another one this morning. Steve M., thank you so much. Steve, is this the same guy? Steve, thank you again. And yeah, I think that's it from last show. But thank you guys so much. If we get to I'm giving you ballparks, but if we get between 5 and 10 yearly memberships a show, we don't really need ads anymore. Although, as I've said, I do like this genuinely. It tastes really good, so, you know. Okay, what do you think about women proposing to men, Will? Love it, hate it? What are your thoughts?
Well, I think, you know, a lot of these things come down to, like, what is the functional reason? And I tend to have some unconventional opinions that I'd like to share. And starting with, you know, birthdays. Like, I'm really bad at remembering other people's birthdays, you know? But I feel like my birthday should be spent with my mother because when I was being born, she was doing the actual work. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right? So, you know, functionally, it's like, how does that relate to marriage proposal? Like, who should be the one to propose and why, right? And I think a lot of times in courtly love, it was like a higher status male. And they had probably more power, resources, and probably had good reason to need to kind of like show assurances, right? Because I think there's something about proposing that is kind of like a performative act that shows devotion and communicates a sense of reassuring that this is for real, if that makes sense. And so I would say, like, maybe things are a little bit different now. You'd have to ask the question, who needs to be reassured more? Who has more to lose nowadays? Whose commitment is more valuable and why? So what do you think about that? That's a good question for you. Is who do you think is more likely to renege on the arrangement who do you think gets the most out of the arrangement in terms of what's socially expected, historically expected?
Yeah. Well, women get more, obviously.
Okay, like I don't know what's universally true, but like that's
well, because
your answer.
Yeah, that would be my answer, because women are more likely to leave. You also get a status symbol from being married as a woman, like you're seen higher than other women if you can get married. And you can put them on child support and alimony. And women are more likely to do that to men. Although men have been starting to do it, but it's more rare.
I think you've pointed out some valid pieces of evidence that speak to that issue. And that gets at the questions that we asked, which is which party has more power, resources, and ability to harm the other person. Right. And so I think that should be the person that proposes. Like, you could start at resources. You could be like, hey, you could start at whose idea was it? Right. Like if you're going to a restaurant, okay, this was your idea. Right. You could start at, well, who has more resources? Okay. You could start at who has more power, who has more social standing. Right. And, well, I think another interesting one that has come, who has more ability to monkey branch to something else? So I think, maybe the person who's asking is the person that has more power in society or whatever.
Would you be okay with it if a woman proposed to you and you were dating and she proposed? Would you be all right?
Look, I don't know if I would consider marriage, but it's like, I would not be against it just because it was the woman asking. Like, I don't think that's right. So one of the things I like to try to get at is, like, I think we should all be like thinking like a little bit more critically, right? Like it's one thing to be like all this or all that, but like, yeah, I mean, it's highly dependent on people's situations, and not everyone's situation is the same, I guess.
Yeah. Well, you had some good points. Thanks for bringing them up. Any other thoughts you got?
No, I'm thoughtless.
Okay. Okay, well, thank you. Call in anytime.
Later.
All right, who's next? We got Anna. Thanks for coming. Another thing Anna just joined the Audacity chat. You know, guys, I gotta say it. I met my boyfriend through social media, That's the way people are meeting. Like every other couple, that's how they're meeting. Maybe we can find some love in the Audacity chat. You never know. We could do like you know what? If two people get married out of no, we don't do marriage here. I don't know. If two people have a successful relationship, we'll pay for their dinner. If you stay together for like 3 years and you meet in our chat, we'll pay for dinner. You never know. Welcome to the show, Gabe. How's it going? You got to turn off my audio in the background, okay?
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you asking me something to do?
I just said, would you be okay with a woman proposing to you? Yes or no?
I think the easy answer is yes. The more complicated answer is I don't know.
Okay.
I think my explanation would be, because I've been trying to listen to this like for the last hour, I kind of feel like it would cloud like my judgment and give a guy like a false sense of security, thinking that on the surface level, okay, this girlfriend wants to be a wife, and thinking that, oh, he must be in the clear and she must want commitment, and naively thinking that she's not going to screw him over, but you never know what, she might be up to. So I think regardless, I mean, it's a win-win situation for like females, period.
Okay, why?
Well, I mean, like, is common, like, you've commonly even argued, pretty much modern women, have nothing to lose
in marriage.
marriage, period. So, I don't know. I mean, I think it's a very sticky situation.
Okay. So you would be okay if someone proposed to you though? Like would you if you were in a relationship, would you say yes, no? Or would it change your decision because she did it?
I think I would probably say yes right off the bat. But regardless of like whether I'm the one that, did the proposing or a girl did the proposing, I think later on I would like feel nervous and be like, what am I getting myself into? Basically.
Got it. Thanks for the comment, Gabe. We got to go to the next caller, all right?
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Call in anytime, okay? All right, who we got next? Woman proposing. All right, we got Jay. All right, hello, Jay. You're not on camera, but I do.
Hey, what's up?
You're not on camera, but I do got to see you're a real person.
Oh, I'm a real person, yeah.
Okay, well, what do you think of the topic?
To be honest, I had the YouTube in the background. I wasn't really paying attention.
Why did you call in?
I just wasn't sure it would actually work, so I'm kind of surprised I got in. Can you just give me a quick reminder what the topic is, and I'll dive right in because I was listening. Just
would you be okay with a woman proposing to you?
Probably. Honestly, yeah. I think I'd be all right with it. But it takes a lot to get to the point where a woman would actually propose to me.
Would you feel demasculated at all?
No. Not at all.
Why? Doug says we had 2 callers ago that said that the type of man that'd be okay with it is somehow, I forgot what he said. It's like less masculine or like a beta, like a liberal guy.
I don't think I'd feel any less masculated, but I don't see women proposing very often. Like from my own experience, the last few relationships they're all damaged, like, sleeping around, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I've met some extremely damaged women that it's the kind of stuff like that some people can't even handle to listen to, just how bad it is out there. But no, I don't think I'd feel emasculated at all.
Yeah.
I'd be skeptic though. I'd be skeptic of what that meant. And if like trust is an issue, obviously, and that kind of thing. Yep.
Got it. Well, thanks for calling in. You got to have your camera on next time. You won't be on screen, but
one second. I can turn the camera on.
No, it's okay. I'm just letting you. Okay, he's gone. Guys, I need your camera on. No one's on screen today, but I had someone flash corn at me once, and I just never recovered. I just was never the same. And it was worse because my producer, I have a new one now, but at the time, he wasn't paying attention, and it just kept playing. And I'm like talking to the chat. And this girl's getting like gang banged on camera. And I'm like, oh my God. And it was just, I don't want to be in that situation again. I'm like, what? That's disgusting. Anyways, welcome to the show, David. What is your thought on the topic? Would you feel emasculated if you were proposed to?
Honestly, I would just feel a little weirded out, to be honest. Like that would just be strange. A little flattered, I guess, but there's definitely no way you're going to get me to say yes. So.
Okay. So what would you do? Would you break up with her, or would you, like, what would be your next step?
I wouldn't want to break up with her like right away. I would probably just keep it going for a little bit like longer and like make up some sort of like excuse to get rid of her. Because she obviously is shit testing. She obviously wants you to like, you know, show her like more forms of commitment. And like we all know at this point that women don't respond well to that. So it's definitely like if anything, it makes it seem like she's trying to get you to break up with her. That's why it's so weird.
Yeah. Do you know anyone that's like been proposed to by a woman?
It's funny. I actually got invited to a wedding recently. I don't know who proposed to who though. I should probably ask.
Okay.
Because I do think it was the chick, because she's definitely getting a lot out of it.
Really? What do you mean?
So, like the dude is wealthy as hell, and she's like a bum. Like she had to move out of her apartment because she couldn't afford it. Like she had a 1-bedroom apartment that she couldn't afford, and she like got with this guy like at the spur of the moment. They've been together for like maybe 6 months or so, something like that. Maybe a year. I don't know. I haven't kept up with their relationship.
How old is she?
She's I think she's like a year younger than me. So I think she's like 26 or 27, and he's in his 30s.
How did they meet? Like, is he like, what's his archetype? Is he like a dorky guy? Like, it just seems if he's really successful,
he doesn't know what's going on.
Oh,
he doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah, because if he's really successful, I'm like, why would he do that? That seems like a stupid choice.
He just makes a lot of money. Like he doesn't know what's happening to him. And I've wanted to tell him, but it's like, I can't, you know?
How do you know? Like, is she trouble? Like, what's her deal?
Yeah, the way that they met is trouble. Like you asked me about that. And like literally the way that they met was, she was dating some other guy who just so happened to be my best friend. And like, oh my God, it's so crazy. Like they used to like double date with this other couple. And she literally like dumped my best friend to get with this guy.
That she would double date with? Or no?
Yeah.
So
yeah, they would literally go on double dates with this other couple. And then this other couple broke up and she got with the other guy. Now that's who she's about to marry.
And he's kind of like a dorky rich guy who doesn't really know women. Yeah, would you say that's true or no? Go ahead.
Yeah, he just plays video games and like he makes a lot of money and like he's I can tell he's a little bit lonely. And like it's just not a good situation because I know exactly what she's about to do to him and it's just not going to be good.
Yeah. Well, good luck to her. Thanks for calling in on the topic, okay? I'm going to go to the next caller.
No problem.
Bye. Let's see the chat real quick before I go to the next caller. I feel like I was taking crazy pills, so I can't believe we're arguing like this. Doug, I mean it. If a man wants to get married, he needs to propose. Woman proposing equals pegging. Look, I just think I don't like men kneeling to women. I just feel like just tell her what you're doing. And if you can't tell her what you're doing, or she needs this big spectacle, she doesn't really like you, you know? Anyways. Her proposing is like being dragged down the aisle. They used to pay to take the women off their hands, but you know, okay. They asked what my Cash App was in the chat. I think it's Pearly Things with a P. If you guys do want to sponsor the show, feel free. We get every $100 sponsor is like, if we get to 10 a show, then we don't have to do ads anymore, but you know, our yearly membership, you get unlimited super chats, which is pretty cool. Okay. Next we got Tony. It's a little small, Tony. How's it going? What's your thought on the topic?
Hi, how's it going, bro?
Good.
Good. Yeah, like I think that I don't really like, I don't know, I wouldn't really like proposing to a woman, to be honest. Because like I think it's just like the same as like being in a relationship when like a woman asks you to be her boyfriend. Mm-hmm. Like if the guy asks the woman to be his girlfriend, then like it kind of screws up the dynamic. Like it sets it up for failure, in my opinion. And I think like the whole bowing and like kneeling down is just like a part of like simp culture and like Christian simp culture. Mm-hmm. So Yeah, that's my opinion. I think it like sets men up more for divorce, right? Because like if a guy wants a woman more than a woman wants the guy, like I think she has a way higher chance of leaving him and divorcing him.
So it wouldn't change your relation. Like if you had a girlfriend that proposed, would it change anything for you?
No, I kind of like it actually.
Yeah.
Like I would know, like yeah, like this chick's serious. Like
yeah,
she actually proposed. Like maybe she won't divorce me and take all my shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Have you seen
I'd
it?
still get a prenup though, but
yeah. Have you
at bare minimum?
Have you seen anyone do it? Do you know anyone that's like a woman that proposed?
Actually, don't.
Yeah, it's not that common.
I never even like. I don't know. I never seen it on social media either.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it, but
not personally, but I just on social media. But it always, from my life, things start on social media and then they start creeping into my regular life. So I bet in 5 years I'll know someone. Like I used to think sex workers, I would never meet one in real life, and now I know sex workers. So
yeah, they're like you're like best buds with them now, right?
I wouldn't go that far, but I know them.
But yeah, like do you know the year when men started proposing to women? Like, do you know the exact timeline or?
I know back because the Industrial Revolution around that time period was when women started moving into apartments into the city. And like there would be a gap, like in the early 1900s, there was a gap between like before women used to go from their dad's house to their husband's house, there was no in between. And then in the 1900s, that was when they started getting like apartments, or some women did. It wasn't like the most common, but that's like when the trend started because the 20s was the first sexual revolution. So I think it was around the 1900s, like 1850 to 1950, sometime in that time period was when it switched.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, because to me, it just ties in with sim culture, like Christian sim culture, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, thanks for your perspective, Tony. We're going to go to the next caller, all right?
All right, no worries. Have a good one.
You too. All right, next we got Charles. Pearl, reading totally with you on the hill. I'm 60 and did the trad bow on one knee. It's total BS. Never. I mean, the first guy looked gay. Bullshit. I'm not buying it, says Fazell. The tradition, Doug, the tradition of men getting on one knee to propose dates back to medieval time, where knights would kneel before royalty or noblewoman as a sign of respect and homage. Yeah, no, but at first it was only knights and kings. If you go to gynocentrism.com, Peter Wright talks about the history of it. It was kings first, and men would kneel to other men, and the order of the world that was naturally assumed was God, men, women, children. Then women came in. And romantic love, it's like, I mean, I can't remember what year it started, but it's a relatively new concept. Like people didn't date. They were just like you and you together, boom. If you don't do it, you don't get my inheritance. That was it. So the women came in and say, no, bow to me. You know, I'm anyways. Now we have Matt on the line. Matt, what are your thoughts on the topic?
Pearl. You know, I don't think I would mind being proposed to at all. Might actually be really cool to know exactly what the girl's thinking for once. But I also think I'd want to control the timeline.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't want it to be sprung on me. I think that's the most important thing. I would want to know when it was coming. Yeah.
Got it. So what would you do if your girlfriend proposed to you out of the blue and it wasn't on your timeline? Would you break up? Would you break up with her, or would you just say not yet, bitch? Sorry, I'm kidding.
It'd be sad, honestly, because I'd probably be like, "Girl, I'm not ready." Like I've known a guy friend that got turned down because she wasn't ready, and I'm like, "You should have known beforehand, dude."
Yeah. What's your do you know anyone where a woman proposed?
Nope, not at all.
Yeah, I don't know it either. Well, do you have any other thoughts on the topic?
I think the last caller just made a really good point, and it sticks with me. Like, it would be really nice, I think, honestly, if a girl proposed, mostly because I think sometimes guys ask themselves a question internally, like, when she says yes, how ready was she actually? And, like, what was she actually feeling? And who knows, maybe she wasn't actually ready if she does propose, but at least as a guy, sometimes just getting the actual what is she actually thinking and wanting and going through the social shame or telling her friends for the rest of her life that she proposed, if she's willing to do that, gives me a little bit more assurance that she's cool with it. So
yeah. Cool. Well, that's a good perspective, Matt. Thank you for calling and sharing it. Okay, call in anytime.
Thanks, bro.
All right, we got, what time is it? We're at, let me see. Did anyone? Okay, well, we'll do one more caller, and then I'm going to call it a day. If you guys want, feel free to get on the app. You know, my goal is, I think it'd be hilarious if two people found love in the Audacity chat. I just think it'd be funny. We got some women in there now. So, you know, CK, I need your camera on so I can see you're a person, but you're not on the show, just so you know. I'm going to give you 10 seconds, turn on the camera. Otherwise I gotta, oh, there he is. Welcome to the show. We can't see you, but I just need to see you're a person. Okay. So, what are your thoughts on the topic? Women proposing to men. Nothing? You there?
Hear me? I can hear you now.
Oh, here. Okay.
Sorry about that.
What are your thoughts on the topic?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting. It's funny because I've always gone back and forth with a friend of mine who recently proposed. This is a guy friend. And what's funny is he always said he would never get on a knee for his girl to like ask her because that's just not what he believes in. And we realized that he proposed, and long story short, he ended up lying about it because we found a picture online. And then when we confronted him about it, he said, you know, he just kind of did it because, you know, he wanted to make her happy for the picture. But long story short, I thought that was interesting because, you know, I think for some guys, at least that understand really what you're doing, it is kind of simpy. And I think most men that actually do it low key know that it is just simp behavior. It's like, why would you in this modern day and age do that? I think it might have had more meaning back when, you know, women were not all feminists and all about themselves or their career over their man. And a man wasn't just an afterthought. Like in that sense, I could get it. But, you know, now if you're getting on a knee for a woman that's prioritized their career and a bunch of other things and not finding a husband, and you're kind of just there when she hits 30 and is ready to get engaged, I think that's definitely an L.
Yeah. Yeah, so. Makes sense. Do you know anyone that the woman proposed to the guy?
I mean, it depends. Like, do you mean like physically get on a knee or like ask like to marry and like initiate the marriage? Like, what do you mean?
I guess both, if you've had any experience with either.
Yeah, so I actually know a family member that was basically, like, the woman didn't get on the knee, but she was like the one that asked, like, hey, can we get married? I want to get married. And he ended up saying yes. But then again, kind of like the other callers have said, I think that's the way it should work. Like you want for the woman to be the one to push for the relationship. So yeah. It kind of, it makes sense. But yeah.
Got it. Well, thanks for your thoughts on the topic. Call in anytime, okay?
Yeah, sure thing. Have a good one.
You too. All right, that's all the calls I'm taking today. All right, guys. Well, I will not be here tomorrow because we're also updating thumbnails on the website. That's like my next thing is we're really in the next couple of months gonna make the app very, very cool. So, and more organized. So any complaints, feel free to give them to me. We're working with a developer the next couple weeks. Like the video on your way out, subscribe if you can. I understand if you can't. Get on the Audacity website, and let me read the final chats before we end the show. Okay. I read that. The tradition of, I read that, Steve. I ain't bowing or kneeling for anyone, but I'm a bit old and angry. Fazell says, I'm not buying it. Bullshit. I've never met a rich, dumb person. You have to have financial literacy to stay rich. Fazell, I've met so many rich guys, and they're not dumb. They're smart in work. But with women, oh my God, come on. You see Bezos, who Bezos is dating? Like, come on. Pearl has Valentine's Day plan. Yeah, I do. Go make some. There's a lot of lonely women out there. You got to take advantage. Go make some woman feel better that, you know, she's going to die alone. Philippi, best way to find out if she gets into your frame, unless she's planning the divorce further down the line. Okay, guys, thank you so much. I'll be back maybe Sunday. I don't know. I'm either going to do a show Sunday or Monday. I'll let you guys know. Like the video on your way out, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.